Sorry, people, just give me a second. I'm trying to check my mic, make sure it's working. Just give me a second, please. Okay. Right. So I did this same talk on my other channel, SK and RBG, but I want to make sure I do it here so everybody can hear what I got to say. So on this topic about the UK people, the white UK people turning on Anthony Joshua, I want to say one thing, man. Well, a few things really. That Anthony Joshua is completely right in everything he says. The next thing is that I'm not surprised at the backlash that Anthony Joshua is getting. I'm not surprised at all. You know, the European has been able to wedge themselves in between the thought and the economic progress of black people for centuries now, especially if you're from the West Coast and Central Africa. What up, UGC? Right? And Anthony Joshua was at a rally and he was talking about, you know, yeah, Rav, yeah. But anyway, Anthony Joshua was at his this rally in support of what was happening in America. And he's catching a lot of flack from a lot of people. Most of them are just white Brits who are angry for whatever reason. And you don't see anything different than what's happening in America, where you have the same white people who don't want to hear anything that any black person has to say on any topic. Unless you're entertaining me, unless you're doing what I say to do, your opinions on anything is invalid. You shouldn't speak. Just like how the lady on Fox News told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. It's the same way these people are mad at Anthony Joshua because this rich boxer, black boxer, has decided that he's going to speak up about his community and his people. They don't want to hear that shit. Well, that's too bad. But let me just talk about it a little bit because Anthony Joshua was reading a speech apparently from somebody else, but from what I caught of it, it was basically, you know, unify, organize, spend some money in your community, build up your businesses, make our areas, you know, economically viable and all of that. The stuff that, you know, that needs to be talked about because after this protest, there has to be an after. We can't just go back to the same old. Notice I said we because I, Greg Herbert, am a Pan-Africanist. You know what I'm saying? That's me. Pan-Africanist, that's me. And I associate myself with the issues of black people wherever they are in the world. So Anthony Joshua was speaking about building up the community after all of this, you know, investing some money, making sure that the young people can grow up in areas that are powerful and, you know, economically sound. And Anthony Joshua is now getting murdered on social media by a lot of people. But I dare say most of these people never liked Anthony Joshua in the first place. And they were just looking for a reason to jump on this dude. This is the reason though. I said in another video before this that Anthony Joshua was loved by these people, well, so-called loved, until Tyson Fury came. Tyson Fury is here now. We don't need you. Right? Anyway, so he's talking about that. And these people are losing their minds. They don't want to hear about Black Lives Matter. He's racist. He's this. We want to talk about the black racists. You see the issue? You see the issue? These people want to be oppressed so bad. They want to be oppressed so bad until it's time to be oppressed. So imagine a black man talking about building up his own community, supporting his businesses. That's racist to them. Here's the hypocrisy though. Black people are in their country. The entire country is their business. So they need the black person to put his money into their economy to make their businesses viable. But as soon as he speaks about his own businesses, he's racist. How dare he speak like that? How dare this black man speak up on his own behalf, on his own people's behalf, without our permission? That's the issue. Anthony Joshua is speaking out of turn. Any black rich athlete is speaking out of turn. How dare you speak about your own people? We made you rich, right? It's our money that made you rich. You see, they understand their economic power because no, they're talking about, well, you know, we're going to boycott Anthony Joshua's next pay-per-view. So it's cool that they exercise their economic power to hurt somebody else, but he's talking about using his economic power to uplift himself and his people. That's racist. You see the hypocrisy? I want to talk to you quickly, because I'm not going to stay long, quickly about how a lot of this came about. And a lot of this comes from my country because the first British ship in the Caribbean came in 1623 to this island, St. Kitts. And they've been here right up until 1983 in some form or fashion, when we got independence. The British came here and brought enslaved Africans by at least 1624, British and French, right? They used African people in slavery and enriched themselves. Matter of fact, the British got their industrial revolution from the backs of African people enslaved in the Americas. Up until 1834, when they were told, you're going to have to emancipate these people. And you know what they did? They protested. That if we give up these people, it's going to have a negative effect on our country and us. And they protested. They protested losing the labor, the slave labor that they have used for centuries. They protested. So you know what the British government did? No problem. I'm going to pay you for loss of your property. I am going to pay you for loss of property. You see how some black people say they don't believe in reparations and they don't believe in that? I believe in reparations. You know why? Because the owners and the oppressors of our people got reparations. Let me tell you how much they got. 20 million pounds. All the planters for loss of human property. 20 million pounds in 1834. 20 million pounds then is worth almost $3 billion US now. The amount was so large that it wasn't until people found out that in 2015, 5 years ago, they were still paying out that money to descendants of the slave owners. You hear me? These people were still paying reparations for loss of human property to the descendants or the beneficiaries of slave owners in 2015, 5 years ago. So when black people tell me they don't pay reparations, we got a problem. These people left the islands and all the British territories in that area, left them in abject poverty. The people just existing day to day. Because remember, they were still under plantation control. So these people were still living essentially slave lives. And the reason why I bring this up is because I want to come all the way up to Anthony Joshua and what he said about building up his own communities. So 1834, false emancipation. We got full emancipation in 1838. You want to know what happened between those 4 years, by the way? They got reparations, and the black people were also told that you're going to have to stay working for these plantation people for 4 years as an apprentice, so you can learn how to take care of yourself. So they got even 4 more years of free labor and a share of 20 million pounds. Emancipation in 1838, black people still living impoverished lives in the Caribbean. World War I breaks out. You know what these British people did? Take up the same black people in the Caribbean, carry them up to Germany or wherever, and made them fight for Britain. Mind you, these former slaves who you just left here, who are living day to day in a savage life, You carry them up to Germany to fight for you in World War I. The people from this island who went and never came back died up there. That was 1916 or something. They did the same thing in World War II, took up the people, carried them up to fight for them. Again, using black people's labor for their own uses. During World War, just for World War II, 1930s, there were riots here because the black people had started getting fed up of their condition, and they started to riot, starting on this island. 1935, they had to, eventually it sprung up across the British Caribbean that they were having these huge violent protests by black people. And they had to send a commission, I think it was called the British Royal West India Commission or something, led by a man called Lord Moyne. We call it the Moyne Report, M-O-Y-N-E. And he found people living in such deplorable conditions. No education, no clothing, barely any food to eat. He wrote a report of recommendations to the British Parliament. You know what they did? They had to hide that report so the British, so it would not fall into German hands, and the Germans used that report against them as propaganda. It was so bad. Peace, Tahaka Taseti. Peace, Charles D. I'm just doing a little history course here, giving these people some context as to why these people hating Anthony Joshua. So we've now gone from bringing African people over here in 1623, by at least 1623, by the way, enslaving them till up to 1838. They got reparations of 20 million pounds. The planters, by the way, 20 million pounds in 1834 for loss of human chattel. 20 million pounds now, that 20 million pounds now is worth almost 3 billion US dollars. They did not pay the enslaved people anything, but they took reparations. It wasn't until 2015 that they stopped because they were still paying descendants or beneficiaries of these slave owners in 2015. Well, nah, man, you not hear me. 2015, they were still paying the beneficiaries, the descendants of slave owners, reparations. So we go from 1834, 1838, emancipation. World War I, they take up black people who they left here in such degradation, poverty, make them go fight in World War I. People died up there. And they faced racism up there, by the way. World War II, the same thing. Before World War II, they had to do the Lord Moyne Report. The Lord Moyne Report it came up because in 1935, riots across the British Caribbean started flaring up. People tired of the situation started attacking, rioting, protesting, and they had to send an investigation. The Lord Moyne, the man who led the report, M-O-Y-N-E, look up the Moyne Report, found that the people were living in such poverty. No, have nothing. They were still living essentially slave lives. He found that these people had no medical care, no education, no food sometimes. These people were just existing. He wrote a report back to the British Parliament for them to take action, but they hid the report, the outbreak of World War II, because they didn't want the Germans to get the report by chance and use it as propaganda. After World War II, they convinced a bunch of black people from the Caribbean and other countries to come up to Britain and rebuild the mother colony. That's when you're going to hear the Windrush situation. And people left, Jamaicans, Kititians, Barbadians, people from Africa came over to go and help the mother colony to rebuild. And they faced racism even then. So we're now in, the 1940s. We're heading up. I have people who I know, older people, who tell me about that time up there. who said it was a terrible time because they came to help, maybe to escape the poverty of their island homes, and they came to England to help, and they got discriminated against, even while they were helping. They had to live in the poorest areas. And so we go on and on and on. And you have black people continually going up to England because where they live is poor. The islands are poor. They come from continental Africa. Remember, these people, the British Empire spanned across the globe. And what the British were successful in doing is wedging themselves in between African people and their resources. So if you want your resources, you have to go through them. You can't have an opinion of your own. You have to have your opinion through their lens. They have to form your opinion for you. And so we continue, black people in Britain having all these issues, because despite popular what they will try to let you believe, racism in England is the same as anywhere else. It's the same as anywhere else. They just hide it better. And so Anthony Joshua speaks about the need to build up the community, the need to do this and invest and all of that. He speaks about that, and somehow these people find it in their hearts to call him racist and call him hypocritical because white people put money in his pocket. You just heard me talk about how black people made them rich and dominant in the world. We know that is through African slavery, African labor, that the British hit the Industrial Revolution in the 1600s or whatever. So they're here telling Anthony Joshua to be quiet, sit down, behave. How dare you talk about building up your own communities? But it was cool when they were using black people to build up their country and their empire. But how dare Anthony Joshua speak about building up his people? This is the hypocrisy. They want to boycott Anthony Joshua's his pay-per-view now, right? So they know how to use economic power to hurt people. They know how to use economic power to hurt people. Or because he wants to use his economic power to help his people, he's racist. You just heard me say they paid slave owners up to 2015 reparations. That wasn't racist. What would black people life have been like in England and other places, wherever we find ourselves in the Western Hemisphere, if we had a chance to get reparations to and build up, we communities them? You see, if they can't control what's coming out your mouth, if they can't control how you see the world, you're racist. It's cool when black people, have to shop in their stores, and black people got to shop in the Arab man store. And we got to shop in Little China or Little Italy and all these places. But the minute a black man talk about building up his own community is an issue. So back to the Windrush situation. If any of y'all want to get a chance, go and look at Windrush saga in England. A few years ago, you know what these people did? They started hunting down the descendants, even some of the same people who came during that time, and started deporting them back to Jamaica and other countries, even to my country. So they used the people them to build up the country and now started hunting them back down. They never regularized them, never gave them citizenship. The people just came because at that time, they were told, well, you're British subjects. You could just come to England. You're British subjects. All these other islands were under control of Britain. So this, as far as they're concerned, we're British subjects. So we went to England and we worked and all of that. They started hunting down the people and deporting them. Look it up, Windrush. It was a big thing in Parliament in England. It was a big thing down here in the Caribbean. You use these people again. So we've heard you've used them for their labor in the sugar plantations. You use them for 4 years after 1834. All right, then. See? You know what I'm talking about. So, what I didn't tell you was that in 1834, when they got the 20 million pound reparations, they also said the black people have to give you 4 more years of free labor on the apprenticeship. 4 more years. So you got 20 million pound reparations, a share of that, and you got 4 years of free labor. So let's start counting about who got used the most here. Black people were brought over here in this part of the world. In America, it wasn't even sooner. Brought over here, used on sugar plantations. 4 years of free labor after 1834. World War I used the people to go fight your war. The same poor Africans who you just let out of slavery. Use them. World War II, use them again. Brought them up in Windrush. Use them to build up your country. Black people had to exist in all the 1950s, 60s in some of the poorest areas in England. Windrush saga, as Tahaka Tassetti said, you start deporting the people back to the Caribbean. So now you've used them for all these things, you're sending them back. So far, how are the scales tipping when it comes to racism and all of this and using economic power? Who has benefited more from who? Facts, Tahaka. Facts. So Anthony Joshua is saying, look, man, after this whole protest, we got to do something. We got to build up our people, build up our communities and all of that. Talk about what happened in America. You know how much communities were wiped out by white supremacists? You know how much communities was wiped out? The most famous one, of course, is Black Wall Street. Where they had a terror attack on the goddamn thing. Wiped it out. You know how much thriving black communities they just wiped off the face of the earth? We talk about the inner cities where they put crack rocks, cocaine on the street to kill out the black people them. Move businesses away from black communities so they can't thrive, so people can't have jobs. Move them away. Leave the black people in these communities to fend for themselves. So of course they're gonna have poverty and crime. But how dare Anthony Joshua speak up? How dare Anthony Joshua speak up about building up his own community, about putting his own money in his own community? How dare he speak up? If you factor Arabs, it is. Let me show you how much. That's the amount in today's money. That's the amount. That's the amount. Almost 3 billion pound in today's money. That's the amount. Billion pound. You know how much black communities in America they don't wipe out? Wipe out. Because those black people dared to say, you know what, we're going to build up our own communities, and they would not have it. Because it is unconscionable that black people could have a mind of their own to do something for themselves without their permission and without their help. It's all cool when black people go to their stores to shop. Matter of fact, the entire country is their store because they control the economy. So what's wrong if Anthony Joshua says, I want to build up my own place? And these people have decided that Anthony Joshua is racist. Anthony Joshua is this, he's that. How? Let me say one more time. These people were paying that reparations up until 2015. Let me tell you something, man. I'm not gonna go on. Much longer. But I want to tell Anthony Joshua, don't back down from none of these people. They don't love you. They've shown their true colors. I like your response on Twitter, wherever you put it, where you said, if you think I'm racist, go fuck yourself. I'm going to open up for y'all to come on with me and talk to me for a second. But that's my little lesson just now about Anthony Joshua and what I think. I think anybody who wants to hate on Anthony Joshua, you ain't shit. Fuck you. Oh, and you love Tyson Fury, no, because he's all about physical fitness and mental health. But you didn't have a problem when he was talking all that shit before. Yeah, he was talking all that shit before, and you would call him a gypsy and all of that. Now he's your favorite guy because, oh, you know, he's a nice gypsy. The phone's ringing. Give me a second. Yeah. Anybody want to jump on with me? Not just let us know is up for debate. I mean, that's all facts. That's all historical fact. I could go on and on, but I really don't want, go on too long on that. All I want to say is it is hypocrisy that these people talking about Anthony Joshua is a racist and whatnot. When you live in a country that was built off of the degradation of black people, you are the beneficiary of the impoverishment of black people. I don't want to hear shit. It wasn't racist that they were paying slave reparations up to 2015. I didn't hear a peep of that. But this is oh, Anthony Joshua is racist. Charles D asks, how much is that worth today? Let me tell you, Charles D. No. Charles D, it is worth 3 billion something US dollars. That is the reparations that they denied my ancestors, me, and a lot of the people who live in Anthony Joshua's community. They denied that money to our people so we could build nice communities for ourselves. So how dare Anthony Joshua, a successful black man, who says, I will put my money where my mouth is. And I will do that. And I will help the people them. And I want us to come together and build a little black business here and there. So our children could see successful black businesses in the communities. So they could have something to pattern themselves after. This is wicked people. Wicked people. It was cool when Anthony Joshua was up on the stage doing the Commonwealth speech with the Queen, when he was saying, come together and all this. But the minute he says, you know what, let me focus on my people for a second, that's not good enough. Oh, also, they didn't say he was racist when he went to Africa by his people. Cool. But as long as we bring down British soil, it's a problem. They cheered when he went to Africa, in the slums of Africa, in Nigeria, in Makoko, They cheered. Oh, look, he went home. He's great. It's great. You know, he's helping his people back home in Nigeria. But how dare he say he want to help his people in Britain? No, black people must stay at the bottom of the barrel everywhere they be. If anybody want to jump on me, jump on with me before I get off this thing here. Let me shout out who all in the chat. Boxing Finesse. How you doing, man? Man like Charles D, Shizbiz, Tahaka Taseti, my guy Black. Who else? Abs. Who else in here? Marty Machine. What up, bro? That's it. That's just some history for all you. These people like to throw rocks and hide their hands, like as if. You have a country in Britain, a museum is filled with loot from other countries. And even the countries asking back for their stuff, Britain is saying no. Charles D.
I'll jump on with you. What up, though?
Me there. What going on, man?
Hey, shit, man. Enjoying this weather. Finally.
Talk to me.
Yo, I didn't know he was catching that much flack.
No, I go to like social media page and I'm seeing people, Anthony Joshua is a racist, he's this, he's that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, you on social media, man. I ain't on none of that shit. I ain't on Twitter. I ain't on Instagram. I ain't got none of that. I don't even got a Facebook, dog.
I hear you, but it's like, I'm disappointed because it's like, well, hold on.
All right, good.
So because this man suddenly said, you know what, I want to do something for my people a little bit. He's a racist?
I don't know, man. They said the same shit. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because they said the same shit about Wilder. The minute you want to hear from your favorite athlete or you want to see what somebody's social stance is on, and then once you get it, it ain't good enough. Now you want to kick dirt on a person's name. They racist, they a bigot, they a hypocrite, yada, yada, yada. How is that wrong for somebody how is that wrong for somebody standing up for their race?
I think somebody had a saying where they said, when you're so accustomed to privilege or something like that, anybody talking about actual equality and justice seems like discrimination against you. These people have been in control so long that you're not even talking about them. You're talking about, how do I fix us? How do I deal with our situation? You know what I'm saying? So once people start talking about that, and it doesn't include them, they take offense to that because they've been able to dictate how black people see the world, how we speak, and where we spend. So the minute we start to cut them out the conversation, it's racism.
Yeah, good point is, look at the what's my man's name? The fucking dumbass dude from the NFL, the fucking commissioner, Goodell,
yeah, what he said.
Now this idiot is talking about, oh, now I understand, Black Lives Matter and police brutality. Motherfucker, that's what Kaepernick was talking about the whole time. But y'all so hell bent on this motherfucker talking about he disrespecting the flag. Y'all never knew what the fuck he took the knee for. So now all of a sudden he's on his shit like, yeah, and I'm gonna stand behind the players, because you ain't gonna stop the players from taking that knee. You're not. You got more people You got more people taking that knee now than they did when Kaepernick did it. But now that you saying, oh, I understand it, just like Drew Brees, stupid ass. Oh, okay, now I get it. Okay, where does that leave Kaepernick, the dude who took the knee for police brutality? And now all of a sudden, y'all recognize, oh, well, he wasn't talking about the flag. It was never about the flag, you dumb motherfuckers.
They know it's not about that, but the problem is, as again,
because it's going to hit their pockets.
Right. As soon as you take a stance on something for yourself, and it doesn't include their feelings, it's racism. Everybody wanted to be oppressed until it's time to be oppressed, Charles D. These people can't deal with oppression.
Hell no, they don't want to deal with oppression. Shit.
There's no history. There's no history of black people doing what white people did to them. None. There's none. So when they want to talk about oppression and they feel oppressed, they feel discriminated against, no, you don't. No, you don't.
It ain't even coming
Okay.
close.
No, you don't.
You know how
There's-
shit we had to endure as people?
Listen,
Ain't
man.
nobody trying to go through that bullshit. It's no comparison. You can't sit there and tell me, oh, and my race did that for how long? About 40, 30, like 30, 40 years? Try
Right.
400. Try 400.
Facts.
You know what I'm
Ahab
saying?
says, Ahab says they love AJ the boxer. He's big, black, violent in the ring, and that satisfies their stereotypes. Once he spoke about this, they showed their true colors. Facts. Like Frank Bruno. People used to call Frank Bruno like an Uncle Tom because he was like their favorite black dude in England, right? Frank Bruno was same thing, big black, knock people out, but he wouldn't speak on his issues, and he had his mental issues and all that. They love that shit. But if you actually speak up from your heart, that's a problem. Malcolm X has a speech, and I'll probably play it now, when he says, if you tell people how you really feel, without all these sweet talk and all this, matter of fact, let me find the goddamn speech for you, Charles. Go ahead, sorry.
No, you ain't got to show it to me. I live by that. I say what the fuck I want when I want. You don't like it? Too bad. What you gonna tell me? You don't like me? I heard that before.
That's fine. Malcolm X said,
Yeah.
yo, if you tell these people how you really feel, if you speak from the heart, just tell them how you feel. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got all these clown athletes and celebrities who are trying to toe the line and whatever. I respect that.
I'm not walking on eggshells for nobody. I don't give a fuck if I was rich or like me right now. I'm good. I ain't rich. I ain't broke, but I'm not walking on no eggshells for no motherfucker. I'm gonna say what I want, and I'm gonna keep it how it is. That's it. If you don't like it, then that's your opinion. Everybody got one of those.
Listen, facts. But I'm saying to these people is, man, you're not going to just disrespect dude like that as if like he ain't got no backing. That's why I made this video, because I support AJ even more now, because I like when athletes put their money where their mouth is. Don't just talk a lot of shit online. Support the goddamn communities. You know what I'm saying? Work with.
There's a lot of them doing that. It's like they're picking who they want to poke at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like LeBron spoke out about it. That stupid white chick looked like a goddamn idiot because
shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble. But then Drew Brees, it's just a difference of opinion. Okay, exactly. What's the difference between his opinion and LeBron's?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So
like
I'm not trying to. You have a goddamn prince in England who should be brought up on charges about sex trafficking. You know what I'm saying? And you want to talk about Anthony Joshua helping his community? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear shit. Anthony Joshua said it right. If you don't like the fuck I said, fuck you too. And that's
Black people that's smart and street smart, that's a dangerous combination. They don't like that shit. Your demographic reaches out way further than theirs.
Yo, if I'm anybody in the chat is from the UK, Ahabs, you guys, is Watford a place where you have a lot of black people? What's the demographics of Watford?
I don't know, but I saw a lot of black faces in it, and when he gave that speech, right? And it don't even have to be, and it don't even have to be black people. It's just human beings are tired of the dumb shit. Like, yo, dog, I got a crib in the Poconos. I'm not even bullshitting, dog. I drove there 2 days ago. Matter of fact, I came back last night. I was there 2 days ago. Hella white people on the corner with Black Lives Matter signs. And that shit threw me in a weird space, but I'm like, these motherfuckers is out here genuine because they don't got like any spikes and shit like that. It's a small little spot, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they out there, they didn't have to be out there doing that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was like 2 in the afternoon. These motherfuckers was out there. I thought it was funny for a second, but when I doubled back and came back through, I was like, these motherfuckers still out here. Like, just like human beings in general just had enough of the dumb shit.
I want to shout out Sporting Advantage for this comparison. Colin Kaepernick was kicked out for kneeling. A Miami pro lineman was racially bullying teammates and started the season. I remember that. Richie Incognito, that was his name.
Yeah, man.
Richie Incognito, and he was back in the league.
Exactly. And Cap can't even get back in. Cap had to sue for his money.
Facts. So here you go. So Boxing Finesse says it's more like black and Asian people. Tahaka says it's like enough blacks in Watford. So the man is right. He's in a black area. You have some other people.
Yeah,
so
it's
he's saying,
mixed.
yo, I mean,
Minorities.
let's build up the shit. Let's get some black businesses going. What's wrong with that? But the problem is you're gonna have a problem because it's expected. It's almost expected that black people spend their money elsewhere, right? But they can't fathom that maybe they should come and spend their money in a black business. You know what I'm saying? To help build up their communities because it's normal. It's almost expected that no, you spend your money with me. What's this? No, you give me your money.
Okay? Look at all the major corporations that took a decent hit. Nothing major, nothing to cripple them, but just a major hit. Like look at Hilfiger, where he said his dumb shit.
Right.
Took a spike in sales. Timberland, same thing. Black people wear your shit. As soon as Tommy Hilfiger came, as soon as he said that bullshit went down. What's the other goddamn brand? I forgot another brand I'm missing. It was Hilfiger, right. Timberland, and somebody else. But they came back and retracted them statements ASAP because they knew, oh shit, black dollars matter. Like, right. They're gonna fuck with us. And that's the whole thing. Somebody else said something smart too. I can't remember the person's name. It was like, yo, besides tearing up people's shit, just don't spend your money.
Facts. That's it.
Don't spend your money. You want to hit them where it hurts. Don't. Whatever you would normally do, don't go. Besides buying food and shit like that, and that depends on where you even do that. But as far as fashion, like shopping at Nike and all this other shit, don't spend your money and see how that works for them. When they see that big ass financial hit in their pockets, because what with this pandemic, what got shut down? You got Kohl's, JCPenney's, Macy's.
Right.
They all filing for bankruptcy right now, not because it's, you know, due to people not shopping and shit like that. Just niggas, people ain't working. But look at who buys your clothes, who's doing that shit. Like, we count for a lot. So say we not fucking with y'all. We'll fuck with our own.
I agree with that. But again, Boxing Finesse says, truth is AJ is a successful black man sending positive message out to his communities. He's right. Stop buying branded clothes and invest within your community. Help them build there you go. Build their business. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you put your money into our own community, we'd be a lot stronger. We don't need their shit.
What did the man say that was wrong? I'm trying to figure out what did he say that was wrong. But you know what? I understand because the history I just laid out to you, that brief history, there's a lot more I can say, but that brief history is laid out to you, explains to you this mentality of entitlement to the black body and the black mind. You understand? There's a history of that. They feel they have a monopoly on what you should think, what you should put your labors into, and how to please them.
Yeah, they feel entitled to it. Entitled is a great word for that.
You know what I'm saying? So how dare you have your own thoughts? Are you stupid?
Exactly. Oh, who are you to put your own money into your own community? Who the fuck says some shit like that? Like, to a dumb motherfucker, they'll be like, yeah, well, who the fuck is he? But to a dude who got money to back it, and if he, just like the dude who plays soccer, I forgot my man's name. Is it Matoli, the dude who played for is it
Mario Balotelli?
Yeah, but who he plays for? Manchester?
Nah, he plays in Italy somewhere now.
Yeah, now, but he was with Manchester.
Yeah,
that dude, he kept it a buck. Like, fuck that, we get money. Start our own league and see where it goes from there.
But even Mario Balotelli, right? This dude has been brought to tears because of the racist attacks he's gotten in Italy. Because he was raised in Italy. And
that's what I'm saying. But there's you know how many black athletes is in Italy, not just for soccer, just, you know, basketball, other sports, like people who can't make it in the States, they travel abroad. And they make good money doing it. Who the fuck are you to tell somebody that, oh, we call them monkeys because, you know, that's the history of the shit? Who the fuck says that's right?
Right. Okay, there you go. He plays in the French league now. But yo, that's facts. It's like, let me tell you something, man. You know how much black athletes, especially football players, soccer players, I see, get bananas thrown at them. I remember Thierry Henry said when he used to play in England, was it England or someplace like that? Whatever. And he said he was taking a corner kick, right? And hold on.
But not to cut you off, but see,
Yeah.
they all say that's the norm for them out there.
Right.
Mind you, they don't know how the players feel. Like the players is like they had enough of that shit. It's only so much they can take. My fault. Go ahead, Colin.
So Henry said he realized his back was wet. He thought it was sweat. When he looked, it was spit. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're taking a corner kick, you're right next to the crowd.
Yeah.
It spat on his back. Like people kept spitting. So he thought it was sweat while his back was wet. It was spit. You know what I'm saying? So black people in these countries have put up with a lot. And they're saying, nah, man, let me just build up my own communities. Let's let our youth see something positive in our communities.
Shit, we got the bread and we got the bread for it. Put it together and see what we can do. It ain't gonna hurt to try.
Anthony Joshua should be looked at as a fucking hero where he's from. But these motherfuckers are trying to disrespect this dude and whatever. I haven't seen it much in the British press, but it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, they doing the same thing to Wilder too. Oh, he's in the woods and he's doing this. What's the difference between him being in the woods and him being out in the public? They're both speaking on it. I don't care if it's on a piece of paper, rehearsed, whatever.
Yeah, man, whatever, man. But anyway, Charles D.
Like shit. Malcolm X had his speech written on paper. What's the difference?
Right.
You want to make your points. You want to hit your keynotes and keep it pushing.
That's right. Charles D, I'm gonna have to get off here, man. I got a run to make.
Yeah, it better not be to no goddamn lunch meat spot or something, man.
I got today, what do I have today to eat? I have stir-fried vegetables, carrots and eggplants, and all. It's fried at least. And, so I have that to eat.
He said it's fried at least.
With some brown pasta. It's all right. It's not bad. It's all right.
Yeah, so you'll be making a run for ground turkey or fish or something.
Anyway, man. Thank y'all for coming through, man. Thank y'all for coming through, all right?
All right, man. Get handle your business, man. Everybody, y'all be safe, man.
Peace to everybody, man, in the chat. Y'all have a nice day. Peace and
safe, though.
Yeah.